Hey y'all, it is Justin Farmer. Today is Monday, March 15th, and we are going to be talking about tonight's council meeting. So I will be back in a few and I will be sharing that with you.
Let's go! Ho, ho!
Hey y'all, good evening. Tonight we had our first council meeting with committees back. So I wanted to take the opportunity to just share with y'all, seeing that we ended so early, just to give you an update. The last couple of updates I auto scheduled and they did not go through. So just an opportunity to do this live and catch you up to date. First thing I want to say um, before I go into anything else, um, on the 17th, so that's Wednesday, the 17th at 7 o'clock, we will be having a special council meeting to go over the town audit. They will be sharing with us their outcomes and perspective. So tonight we had our human services meeting. We had our public, and I'm just going to go through them. What was on the agenda, and for the Human Services Committee, we appointed Melissa Kamen Klein to the Transit District of New Haven for a term to expire March 31st, 2023. The same with Dan Copps, who was uh, uh, the former, why am I blanking on Dan's former position? He was the town planner, as well as Robin L. Francis to the Hamden Housing Authority for a term to expire 2025. All great, wonderful public servants. I'm very happy that we finally have people to the Greater New Haven Transit District, as these individuals shape how our transit community looks like in the greater region. Um, Something that is very important, especially as New Haven has started conversations of getting rid of the spoken wheel system, which having New Haven as the epicenter and a web going out into other communities branching off. So it's very important that Hamden is represented and that our town is 10 miles, almost 10 miles long. Um, our main corridors, Dixwell and Whitney, are very important. And one of my main frustrations is that these corridors don't connect, being Dixwell and Whitney Ave. If you are an avid bus goer, you have to go all the way into New Haven and then take another bus to go all the way back up Hamden if you want to get from Dixwell to Whitney. So very excited to see these two individuals on. And in terms of the housing authority, Robin L. Francis has been doing this for 2 decades, has been a wonderful public servant. So very excited on those appointments. Um, we also had our um, public safety committee meet tonight. A couple of items that were on there was a department transfer for $150, $150,000 for overtime. Um, it's not the craziest number, um, But I think as we go forward and have these conversations, for a very long time, um, every police chief since I've been on the town council for the last 3 years has said we need to restructure our department. Need to restructure our department. Once we do that, we're going to see savings. We're going to see savings. We're going to see savings. Um, the chief alluded to uh, uh, less staff members either not being needed or we cut them out of the budget, but didn't really allude to a new structure. So I'll be interested to hear his thoughts and concerns about that when we get to budget season. Uh, there was a transfer for for $14,000 37 $14,377 for vehicle replacements. Um, we got to, repair our vehicles. So glad the chief brought that to us. There was order to approve a master equipment lease uh, with Ford Motor Credit Company LLC for 5 years. Uh, I'm interested in this as many of our police cars are in disarray. So I'm definitely public safety. I want the police to be safe, but I want to hear more about this, especially to see what type of infrastructure we can get from leasing these cars. There's conversations about these police cruisers being hybrids, so we can be more fuel efficient and more green. So definitely we'll have questions about that that I'm going to be following up with the chief on. It's also interesting to note that there was money from the General Assembly for policing, for equipment, and also that all these police cars are supposed to be equipped with dash cams. So definitely we'll be following up and asking those questions. And then lastly, the last two items were memorandum of understanding for Officer Gabriel Garcia and Officer Riera Rodriguez. Both of these, basically, um, officers who are guardsmen, who are part of the National Guard, we pay them the difference of what it will cost them to not be here and to be doing service. Um, we're making sure that they get the same pay as they're doing their service. I do want to ask a question to the chief and find out and figure out if if there is extra costs when guardsmen are called in terms of backfilling, and what that costs us and how that works. So I'll be asking him about that. Uh, and then lastly, we had our uh, finance committee. Um, hold on, let me. Yeah, so we had our finance committee. There's three items: refund of property taxes, $260.56. There was another refund for overpayment on grand list, $22,224.98, a refund on motor vehicle taxes of $11,080.15. So, basic things of paying people back their money. When people overpay, uh, we make sure to give them back their money, and rightfully so. So, those were the items on the agenda tonight. In terms of conversation, um, I brought up a point of clarification around whether the council president would be leading these meetings or would these committee meetings be led by the committee chairs, and who has authority when. I think it's important that we have that clear workflow so that we understand who is in charge during these meetings and who is going to be controlling different aspects of the meeting. I want to take this time to share in the sentiments of Councilman Caesar and Councilman McDowell. Uh, we spent $20,000 on Civic Plus. I voted against it. I did not feel that it was needed. I've yet to see the utility. Granted, we're only a couple of meetings. We've had two practice meetings, and this is our first meeting using it. But I have yet to see the need or utility of this program. And a pertinent point that both Councilman Caesar and Austin brought up was how does this improve public input and deal with some of the security concerns with Zoom bombing? And I haven't seen anything. Um, I hope we did not, discount people's voices for months, hoping that this would do it. And worse so, is potentially spending $20,000 to not do that. So I won't necessarily pass judgment yet, but I feel that this program doesn't add value in terms of public comment. One thing I will commend the council president on is that each committee has public input. So individuals who want to share a perspective on different issues on the budget or during the different items of council business can comment on each item to respective committee rather than having 3 minutes to address however many items are on a council agenda. It'll be interesting to see how different committee chairs uh, allot time to community members to share their concerns. Um, but exciting work nonetheless. So, uh, our next council meeting again, it's going to be a special meeting on the 17th, and that is going to be at 7 o'clock. We will be hearing the mayor's proposed budget that night. Actually, correction, it will be 6 o'clock, not 7 o'clock. So that will be March 17th at 7 o'clock. Um, you know, uh, it is great information. I will drop the link for that meeting uh, in the I will drop the link for that meeting in the chat. Um, I do not believe that there will be public input for that meeting, um, but I'm not sure. So if I find out, I'll put it on the Facebook page and share it out and make sure that people know. As always, if y'all have questions, comments, or concerns, you can always reach me by my telephone, call, text, uh, as well as my council email anytime. Um, yeah, feel free to reach out and keep me in the loop with any questions or concerns. The very last thing I'll say before I sign off tonight is that if you have any concerns in terms of sidewalks, in terms of potholes, street paving, please, 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 please share that with me, post it to my page, text me, call me, leave a voicemail, whatever you need to do, make sure you do it so that we can get that on the agenda and on the list for our grant for our paving and sidewalk list. I want to make sure that uh, those thoughts and concerns are taken into consideration. We won't be able to fix everything, but I want to make sure that your concerns are at least on the agenda so that we can prioritize uh, the streets that are in the worst condition, the sidewalks that are in the worst condition. So with that, uh, I I will be signing off, and I hope y'all have a wonderful evening, and that again we're continuing to wear our masks, we're continuing to wash our hands, and we're continuing to be safe.